Well, it's another fine afternoon. Time for another edition of #golf space b-man space golf. That's the YouTube location. Well, today it's going to get a little bit more dynamic. Let's use that word, dynamic. Not tricky, because you don't want golf to ever be tricky. You want it to be a continual learning, experiential game for you. And again, all of us older guys, sometimes we need a little extra help. We tend to forget as we get older. I know I do. But helping, once again, the beginner, intermediate type player, even advanced players from time to time, this particular podcast is going to be dedicated to what I refer to when I was back instructing as the arm hanging technique. Yeah, how your arms should hang down your body. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you have an iron in your hands. How am I going to do that? And when you have a driver in your hands. How am I going to do that? Thought you'd never ask. I'm going to be holding a club in front of my shoulder. You never do it from the side or the back. It's always the front. You take your club and hold it in front of your shoulder, let it hang down. As you have now learned the proper posture, when you let your arms hang down, we're going to show you what the proper distance is to do that just by merely holding the club in front. So once again, pay attention, learn, just listen and do. And you never know. My favorite portion of the podcast, talking to people like yourself that play this game for a little while or for a lifetime, and listening to how they explain golf on the podcast as to why they play, when they started playing, and what golf means to them. Okay, so sit back once again, watch this particular episode of arm hanging technique, all right? And listen to the older gentlemen. Why? You should always listen to old people. They're smart. This is your arm hanging technique I want you to practice as well. This arm hanging technique will show you the position of your arms when you're hitting an iron, when you're hitting a driver. We're going to take our slight knee bend at the waist, push your rump up and hang your arm straight down. Now, I'm holding a club like a pendulum in front of my shoulder, not to the side and not the back. That's incorrect. Hold it with two fingers like this, pendulum style. Once it stops swinging, if you see where my arm and glove are inside of the club, that's the way you want to be when you hit an iron. That's the way you want to be when you hit a wood. This is an iron. Of course, you're down lower. You don't want to hit an iron out there. You want to hit it down low here. When you're hitting a wood, driver, 3-wood, it's outside of that hanging club. You don't want to hit a driver up next against your body like that. That's an iron. That's for a wood. That's for an iron. Keep your hand from this hanging technique. Just hang the club in front of you, and you'll see what I'm talking about, especially after you've done the correct posture, knees are bent, so on. When you raise up a little bit higher, that is for a wood. Just don't be measuring yourself from the outside of your shoulders. Do it from in front is correct. Pendulum, hold it with barely two fingers. Glove inside of that, that's for an iron shot. Of course, you stand up a lot taller and your hand should be outside of that club. That's for a wood shot. This is your arm hanging technique. Practice this technique. I hope this technique helps you. All right, golf fans, we're back on the Barranca once more time. B-man space golf. You know the YouTube location. We're out here this afternoon with Howard, who lives very close by the way, and loves Dunedin Country Club. We got to pick his brain a little bit. Howard, first of all, how old was Howard when he first started playing golf?
I'm going to say about 25.
25 years old? Started a little late.
Yes, I did.
And you're such a great player. How did you get so good?
As Ben Hogan said, the secret is in the dirt.
It's in the dirt? Yeah.
Practice.
There you go. We love that. And you still play today. What motivates you to continue to play this game?
Call it the self journey of trying to always improve on your golf game. That and the camaraderie of playing with a group of guys on a regular basis. It's just a lot of fun.
And What has golf all these years meant to Howard?
What's it meant to me? For one thing, particularly while I was working, I would say the main thing, it was a great break from work, because I find, this is probably true of most hobbies, but when I'm on the golf course, I'm not thinking about anything else but the golf.
But the golf, that's perfect. If you had to give a tip to a beginner, intermediate, even an advanced player, what tip would you give to that golfer?
I think most better golfers know that practice is everything. You can read, you can watch, you can do all sorts of stuff, but you gotta hit golf balls. You gotta go to the putting green. You gotta go to the sand bunker and practice all that kind of stuff and keep your game sharp, and hopefully, and again, this is for me one of the big parts of golf, is always trying to get a little better every day.
Chasing that old man golf. Well, I told you folks, Howard's a very interesting character, and he has some things I think that you would like to use. Howard, thank you so much for being on the show. We greatly appreciate you this afternoon.
You're welcome.
It's great to be back, sports fans. B-Man Space Golf. You know where to find that channel on the YouTube station. Listen, I want you to hold on to your butts. I have out here on the Barranca none other than Mr. Tony Mitchell, who is one of our icons, if you will. He is quite an amazing golfer. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And man, I'm personally curious as to, when did Tony Mitchell start playing golf? How old was Tony when he did that?
When I was about 20 and starting in college.
Yeah.
And I've played ever since, but I've never played very well.
You've never played golf very well?
No.
Well, you must have some sort of method to keep hanging in there. What's your method?
Well, I've always said to myself, there are a lot of things in life worth doing as long as you don't obsess about doing them well. And for me, golf's one of those things. I love it, but I'm not very good at it.
Well, you're still playing it since you were 25 years old. What motivates Tony Mitchell to continue to play this dumb game?
Well, it's not just playing it. There are a lot of other things connected with golf. You know, I've always volunteered at the different golf tournaments, and that gives you all kinds of opportunities to interact with, you know, the real good players. And so I volunteered here in Innisbrook for 20 years, working the different golf tournaments.
Oh, wow.
And you know, that kind of thing is a lot of fun.
So when you see a pro actually do it, what does it do to you internally when you watch it and you're thinking in your mind, some kind of way I got to be able to do that?
Well, I wish I could do it, but I've also developed kind of a low expectation of how good I'm ever going to be. And it doesn't bother me, because like I say, there are a lot of things in life worth doing, but you can't be good at all of them.
And as far as what motivates Tony to continue to play, what has golf meant to you all of these years?
Well, one of the things is you get a lot of good friends through playing golf. I've played with different groups here at the Dunedin Country Club for many years. You know, I've been part of the club management in terms of president of the club, those kinds of things. And so it just gives you a chance to meet a lot of people, good friends, develop relationships with people, and all of that makes it worthwhile.
Well, that is just a man of La Mancha profound statements that you've made today. Tony, if you had to give a tip to a golfer, what would Tony Mitchell's tip be to a golfer?
Enjoy it and don't obsess about being perfect at it. I mean, I appreciate the people who work hard, practice all the time. I think that's wonderful. I play bridge a lot. I'm never going to be a great bridge player either, but I enjoy doing it, and it's the same with golf. I love doing it, but I don't ever think I'm going to be very good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you listeners out there, you had better pay attention to Tony Mitchell. I told you he was an exciting golfer, and amongst other things. Doesn't take it too serious, but he's been playing a lot of years. Tony, thank you so much for being on the show today. We appreciate it. Thank you. So, what did you think? Did that technique help you at all? I certainly hope it does. That is the arm hanging technique that you want to practice, just like all the other techniques that I've already shown you, and I'm looking forward to showing you a lot more. But for right now, the beginning player, intermediate player, even sometimes an advanced player, need to be reminded of how your arm should hang. Remember, I'm showing you that by just merely holding that club in front of your shoulders. What did you think about the two gentlemen today? Inspiring? Empowering? You know, there's nothing like listening to a good old story. I've heard a lot of fish stories in my day, but I have never heard golf stories like the ones on this podcast. I'm glad to bring them to you. They're glad to explain them to you. I enjoy helping people like yourself. And we're just playing golf. Oh, I meant to ask you, what did you shoot today, by the way? Oh, don't say it out loud. Ooh, no, don't say that score. So, anyway, like B-Man always tells you, putt 'em like you own 'em and rock the baby.